Rob. Yeah, our last question for this part is, why do you guys think that Andy chose not to turn in his poetry assignment?
He didn't feel like it.
He didn't feel like it?
He just feel like lacking off.
Felt like slacking off?
Lacking what?
Probably didn't
Like
want
real
the teacher to know.
Yeah, maybe didn't want the teacher to know.
He is kind of trying to hide that he isn't progressing, because probably mainly because he doesn't want to go to his counseling.
Okay, so trying to hide that and doesn't want to go to this counseling thing. Did you have another thing?
He doesn't want to be judged.
Doesn't want to be judged.
True.
It's probably a big one too. What about from other things that we know about Andy? I think those are all really, really major points. We learned something in the last couple sections that we talked about. Oh, yeah.
He probably just doesn't want to be thought like he is someone out of the group or is different from everyone else.
Maybe feels different from everybody else. Yeah, and that could go back to like everybody else kind of getting past it and he maybe still feels stuck. Do you guys remember the incident with the teacher and the test when he got an A?
Yeah, they
The
picked
teacher
on
made fun of
They
him.
picked on him, they made fun of him. So that might be something too. Maybe he just doesn't feel like that's worth trying. You guys think? Maybe? I think what you guys are saying is a huge, huge part of it. I think you guys are absolutely right. Alright, we're doing really good. I haven't had to use this yet. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, in his visit with the psychologist, this is in section 3. Andy talks about how he and Rob used to go to the mall during the holidays. So think about that, refresh your memory on that part of it. What did they do at the mall?
Screw around.
They tried to,
They would go into stores and act like they were gonna get something when they weren't.
Go into stores and act like they were gonna get something and screw
Like
around.
to scare that, like, because the worker always thought they were gonna like steal something.
Yeah. Yeah, they would maybe like kind of tease the worker or something like that.
They ripped off Santa's beard.
They ripped off Santa's beard. I saw some hands up over here. What did they kind of say what you wanted to say?
yeah.
Alright, so how did other people react to that? We kind of touched on that with the worker. What else do you think? Like, what else did they do? So they would go into a store, act like they were going to buy something. How would the
They gave
workers?
out. They gave us stealing.
They thought they were going to steal it.
They would call the police or something.
Maybe call the police. There's one part in there, right, when he's talking about it, he says that when they leave and you look back in the store, do you guys remember what he said?
The
That he saw?
bodyguards in the back room would scoping them.
Bodyguards would follow them, yeah. If he looked at the worker like behind the desk, what would they see? Yeah.
She'd be like writing their traits down so that you could tell who they are.
Yeah, writing down traits so that they could identify them. All right. And the next question.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
No.
Okay, so what was your reaction to this part, Andy's story about being in the mall?
Funny.
You thought it was funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the store part was kind of like they're like racist.
Kind of racist. What else? Why did we think it was funny?
Well, because they ripped out Santa's beard.
Is it ripped off Santa's beard?
Because they knew like they were racist, so it was kind of funny and scary.
Sure. So they kind of like found humor in that.
They didn't care what they did, they just did it. They
Yeah.
didn't think about it.
Yeah, they just kind of did it without thinking
Regret.
a whole lot about it.
They did it without regret.
They did it without regret. No regrets. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. Okay.
They were tired of being in a stereotype and just wanted to mess around with it.
Yeah, they were kind of just, kind of trying to have fun with the situation maybe. I mean, it's fine to think it's funny too, just because it's kind of a funny story, especially with the Santa one. And it kind of sounds like something that some of us might, maybe not that exactly do, but I know when I was in high school, I would go to the mall with my friends and mess around and have fun and joke and all that kind of stuff, so. kind of relating it back to that too. Mrs. Still, you
I'm
want
on
the
it.
next one? Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so this novel is set in the 1990s. So think about that for a second. Does that surprise you?
No.
You got one.
No.
No.
Why?
Because you can tell that the way they talk and stuff is like older than
No, I'm just saying
2018.
there's a lot of people who still talk like that
And
nowadays.
there's books
Okay.
like this, you can tell that they're kind of old.
You can kind of tell that it's old.
Yeah, they smell like old books.
They smell old. I love the smell of old books.
Well, they have really old.
I know, I'm an English nerd.
You can tell how they're acting, the
yeah.
stereotypes, how harsh they are.
Yeah, you can kind of tell the stereotypes. Let's touch on that. Like, do you guys, thinking about the stereotypes.
That's where they're still racist.
What was that name?
The books refer back to when there was still lots of racism. Nowadays there's still racism, just not as much.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point too.
Good.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Like, the things that Andy kind of explained to a psychologist about how people would react to them. Did it surprise you that people would act like that in the 1990s? I know it kind of seems like a long time ago, but it really wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Wasn't that one.
It wasn't that long ago. I was alive in the 90s.
I was
So
too.
was my brother. My brother was born.
Yeah. Does it surprise you that, I mean, it wasn't that long ago when these things were happening, or like people would
No.
react this way?
No, it was the technology. She was like,
Technology changed everything.
Like, you know, some stuff is like take layers and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And they like,
Oh, when you
No,
were-
they
18
ask
is-
their parents, like, they can call.
Yeah, they have to call, like, using the house phone. They don't really have the cell phones yet. So that's another good indicator of the time, for sure. All right. Before we move on real quick, I just want to remind you guys of one of our discussion rules is being respectful, and that includes listening while other people are talking. So let's keep that in mind, please. All right, so think about the poem that Mrs. Blackwell reads to the class.
It was fun.
It was funny. Okay, does anyone have that up? I think it's page
20.
70.
120.
80. It's like late 70s, early 80s.
It's on a
I found
page.
it, I found
isn't that
it.
when Andy
It's
gets
on
mad?
page 83.
83. Okay, here's the thing, guys.
Oh my god.
I will give somebody participation points if they want to read this instead of answering a question later. But let's do someone who has not yet spoken today.
Me.
Cadence.
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 All right. Could you read so that everybody's listening now?
God left his money to me for his life. He black eyes, did black things, laid all my black records, and minded my own black business. When all my best black clothes walked out my locked door, Lord have mercy, what snow.
All right, what were your guys' initial thoughts on the poem? Thank you.
It's funny
It's funny. Why is it funny?
because it's ironic.
Because ironic.
I agree when he walks out and sees the snow, his reaction.
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh man, snow.
It's like, oh, come on.
I love snow.
He loves snow.
I hate snow.
All right.
We can live- no.
What's another reaction to that?
Yeet.
Or what's another reason we might think it's funny?
Because it's all like him being like talking about how he feels, and then all of a sudden, all white snow.
Oh yeah,
Yeet.
definitely talking about how the narrator of that poem feels about themselves, and then all of a sudden they walk out and it's like, well, dang.
It's like you weren't expecting to see white.
Mm-hmm. Weren't
It's like-
expecting it.
Because they're just talking about that the entire time.
Sure. Anything else?
No, we're good.
All right. The next one, I believe, is, oh yes, what was the conversation that the class had after hearing this poem?
I forgot.
I don't know.
Racism, a little bit.
Well, Andy actually liked it.
Andy liked it.
They had a conversation about why there's almost everything black nowadays is bad.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. What were they saying about that? Why, Anthony brought up a good point. They had a conversation about why is the color black associated with bad things?
because
Like dark magic.
What's that?
how it is in the
Like
80s,
dark
90s. Right?
Because that's how it is.
Yeah.
What made it like that?
People.
White people.
People? Just people talking in general, yeah?
Damn it.
What were some of the things they brought up? It doesn't even have to, like, so they talked about, like the black versus white, like color,
Dark magic.
dark magic, yeah, black magic. But they like, you know how they were saying like, how come everything that's dark is associated with bad? How come everything that is white is associated with good? They brought up some other colors. What were some of them that you guys, that stood out to you guys, or that you guys thought of, other than these?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so they talked about the colors. So they talked about, you know, how black is often associated with bad things and white is often associated with good things, and they had that conversation. And then they moved into some other colors and those associations and what they mean. Do you guys have any of those? It can be any color.
Like, said like, I know the colors they talked about, but I don't remember what they were.
That's all right. Even if it's not something directly from the book, if it's something that you just know or think about too, or that you associate.
Blue is like sad.
Blue is sad.
Red
Red is what?
Blood.
Evil.
Or it could be love.
Green is.
Love. Green is good. Why do you say green is good?
I don't know. 'Cause
Green means
Yellow.
go.
Go. Green means go, so it can be good.
Stands for nature.
I know, I like green.
And it stands for
Yellow.
peppermints.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Someone brought up in the other class, purple stands for royalty. I liked that one.
What's your favorite color?
It all depends on the
Alright.
person you said.
All right, so that was a pretty big conversation in their class that they talked about. I liked Andy's comment. I think it was Andy, how he talked about, you know, chocolate is brown and it's delicious, but then they made it white and now it's even
White
better.
chocolate's even better.
It is not.
I don't agree with that either. I
I
don't
don't either.
But I thought it was
I like
fun.
dark
I don't like
Love
dark.
All right,
Let's help
Hey,
them
Sarah.
Please wait until she dismisses you.
all right. So I know we didn't get through into the next section yet. I also know that the bell is going to ring in a couple minutes. Do not stand up quite yet. Please listen to what I have to say before you get up. Please leave your books on a desk before you leave. Please do not crowd the door before the bell rings. And please refrain from using your cell phones before the bell rings.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You may return to your
So guess what my favorite color is? Guess what my favorite color is?
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate your guys' good conversation.
You'll know when I'm yelling at you to death, huh?
I will.
There, I don't want